here I am again, Cikgu Suhada, to teach you the answering technique of Science Paper 2. So here we go. Okay, guys, so today I'm going to show you a spot question for paper 2. What kind of questions? Okay, so this question is from Form 4, Chapter 9, Chemicals in Industry. Also for Section E. Okay, so in 2021, this particular chapter doesn't come out in 2021. Meanwhile, for 2022, an alloy, which is a sub-chapter in this topic, come out as Section B. So most probably this year, it's either come out as Section A or Section C essay questions. So here I am to show you if this particular topic can come out as Section A. Okay, so the first questions. Table 1, show an experiment to compare the elasticity of a natural rubber. Guys, let's do a simple recap on what we learned in Chapter 9, Form 4, Chemicals in Industry. In Chapter 9, we did learn about alloy. So alloy is a mixture of several types of metal. Second one, we did learn about latex. Okay, so for latex, it was a natural and organic substance. Okay, so for latex, the important part you have to remember when the latex coagulate and when does the latex doesn't coagulate. Okay, let's have a look. Remember, in the previous video, we learned the first row or the first column always be your manipulated variable. So this is an MV, a variable that always change. Okay, and the second column or the second row always be your responding variable. Okay, what did I mean by row? What did I mean by column? Okay, guys, this is column. This is column. If you were to give these types of setup or table, this is MV, this is responding variable. If you were given this type of table, okay, this is MV and this is your RV, responding variable. Okay, so now you know the MV, which is the type of rubber. You know the responding variable, which is the length of the rubber. Okay, what you have to do now? Answer the questions lah. Okay, now let's have a look on the questions. State one hypothesis for the experiment. Okay, so hypothesis is relatable between the manipulated variable and responding variable. So just now your manipulated variable is the type of rubber. Meanwhile, your responding variable is the length of your rubber. So, how to create a hypothesis? Manipulated variable, natural rubber, vulcanized rubber. Vulcanized rubber is the natural rubber that already been infused with the sulfur link. Okay, so natural rubber, the initial length is 5 cm. The length with wick is 8 cm. Okay, it's quite long, it's quite elastic, and the length without wick, I mean when you remove the wick, the rubber length or the length of the rubber doesn't go back to the initial length, which is 5, means that the rubber doesn't have a good elasticity. Once we stretch, it cannot go back to its own or initial length. Okay, so it is not elastic. So for the vulcanized rubber, 5 centimeter is the initials. The length with the weight is 7, which is not that quite elastic. But guys, once you stretch them, they can go back to their own initial length, which is 5. So this consider they has a good elasticity. So what can you conclude? Manipulated variable, pick one. So I were to choose the vulcanized rubber. The vulcanized rubber have a good or high elasticity. That's all. Easy peasy. Okay. So you can write the, now what can you wrote over here? The vulcanized rubber have a good elasticity. Settle. 1 mark for you. Okay, for these types of hypotheses, you can either wrote vulcanized rubber, or the other one, the natural rubber doesn't have a good elasticity. Settle. Either one, because 1 point, 1 mark. If I were to give 2 point, can I give mark teacher? Can I get mark teacher? Also 1 mark. Alright. For the next questions, what is the variables in this experiment? State the variables in this experiment. They ask you about the manipulated variable. They ask you about the responding variable. Guys. The other words of manipulated variable. Variable that is change. A variable that you can change for the experiment. That is the other one. Not necessary. The question asks you what is the manipulated variable. That's boring already. Now it's a new era already. So they can ask you what is the variable that is changed for this experiment. It's equivalent to manipulated variables. So what is manipulated variables? Type of rubber. 1 mark. So if the next question asks you, what is the responding variable? The other word of responding variable, this is the important tips for today, which is a variable that observe at the end of the experiment. What do you observe at the end of the experiment? Indicate that this is a responding variable. So what is responding variable? The length of the rubber, the elasticity of the rubber. Okay, the elasticity of rubber. So now guys, in total, you have 3 marks already. 1, 2, 3. Easy. Another 2 marks to go. Usually guys, another 2 marks or another 1 mark is the critical thinking question, high order thinking question. So it's considered as a difficult type of questions lah, but it's not that difficult. Okay, let's have a look on the questions. Diagram 2 shows how latex turn into coagulated latex. Okay, how the latex that not coagulated turn into coagulated latex. Latex yang bergumpal. And the vulcanized rubber. Give the example of substance R and substance S. Okay, what is R and S? Read first lah. Latex turn into coagulated latex. So this is P process or substance P. When you add in substance P, the latex coagulated. Okay. So when you add in substance Q, actually kan, I give you this clue just now. They turn into vulcanized rubber. So give the example. What is the substance being added up to coagulate the latex? What is the substance that add up to turn the rubber into vulcanized rubber that has more elasticity than natural rubber? Okay, so P. Guys, remember, This is very, very important. Please take some notes. If you were to given 2 beaker of latex, this is latex and this is latex. If you were to add in an acid, what is the example of acid? Hydrochloric acid, vinegar also can. What happened to the rubber? What happened to the latex? They will coagulate. If you were to add in the base or alkali solutions, so the example is natrium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, natrium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. What happened to the latex? The latex will not coagulate. So this is the tips today. Okay, now the question telling you, now you have a latex. The latex coagulate already. So what is P? What is P? Acid or base? So the answer is definitely an acid. But the question asks for example, contoh. Then you have to give example. One example, sugar, or you can give vinegar. Vinegar, or the other word is ethanoic acid, or you can give HCl, hydrochloric acid. Any acid that you have in your mind. Don't tell me that you are gotta put an acid only. That is not accurate. Okay, so for Q, now you have a coagulated latex. How to turn them into vulcanized rubber? Okay, you just add the sulfur. This all sulfur. Remember, vulcanized rubber is a natural rubber that being heated up or infused with the sulfur linkage or sulfur cross link. Okay, settle. 2 mark. Guys, 5 mark in your hand. Easy peasy. Okay, so this is all for the section A. See you on the next video for section B, answering technique. Thank you.